Hey, welcome to Echoes of Impact with Noura. This is your host, Noura Masri. Welcome to the show. Today, I wanted to address a very important topic and a lot of people worry about is purchasing your home. A lot of Americans dream about buying their own home. Some people like already got it. Some people they're still dreaming to have it. And that's always the goal of everyone to get their own house. But with this time, like the interest rates is high, the house prices is high. People actually in the last 2 years, at least last 2 years, they've been wondering, is it a good time to buy a house? Should we wait? Is the interest rate is gonna go down? Is the prices gonna go up more, or are they gonna go down? What should we do? When is it the perfect time to purchase a home? And that can be really something, and it's a valid question, let's say. And this is why today I brought some guests. They are experts in the field. I'm not going to tell you who did I get for you, but we're trying to complete the circle for you to see like people who are going to give you some advices when how to purchase a home, where when to purchase a home, what do you need to worry about in terms of insurance also. And I'm not going to talk about it so much. I'm going to actually cover an important part that my guests are not going to be able to cover for you. But since I am in the tax industry, I'm an enrolled agent, if you don't know, and I'm a tax accountant. Basically, I have some rules. I want to actually let you know about them when you purchase the house or when you're selling the house or even the use of your house. You can take tax benefits on that. So basically, so I'm going to just cover them randomly and I'm going to tell you a little bit about each one. One of the really fun rules, when you're a homeowner, you can actually rent your house for up to 14 days during the tax year. So that has to be your house. That's a primary residence. Even a vacation house can be rented if you live in it at least 14 days plus during the year. You can still use this rule. Basically, let me give you an example. For example, people apply this in a way where you have an S corp, a company, and then you are holding meetings in your home. So you are renting your home to your company up to 14 days a year. It might be less, can't be more. I mean, it can be more, but the benefit is only up to 14 days. Of course, the rent has to be reasonable, because I just read about a case where someone was trying to charge his company hundreds of thousands of dollars for $14 rent. Well, of course, that did not go through. They allowed him much less amounts, but they disallowed the rest. Of course, you have to be reasonable. So keep that in mind. So imagine getting some money tax free. That can save you a lot in your business and in your own taxes. Another actually thing you want to make sure you know about is, let's say you have a house right now and you want to sell that house and you're making a profit. You are allowed to get up to $250,000 in profit on your own primary residence if you lived 2 years out of the last 5 years prior selling. So if you lived in that house for 2 years, you are allowed to actually get tax-free profit from selling your house up to $250,000. Now, if you are married, then you have up to $500,000 in profit. So this is significant tax-free money, right? So always purchasing a house is never going to be a loss, even if it's expensive, even if it's you're paying a high interest. Another thing, let's talk about if you are working from home. And now this actually can apply for rental as well, not only if you are a homeowner, but I wanted to tell you this because I see a lot of people miss this and I don't want you to miss it. If you're working from home, you are entitled to take home office deduction. That's the expenses you pay for your home actually can be deducted. Not all of it, of course, because obviously you have your bedroom, you're living in your home, but only the area that you use only for your business, desk or your office room, that you use it just for your business, you can deduct the expenses there. So, for example, your home, maybe 1,000 square feet, and then you're using 100 square feet for your office. That percentage of the expenses is going to be deducted. So you'll be able to deduct that. So make sure you are aware of that and use it. Now, there's one thing people get confused on with this. If you are working as an employee on a W-2, but you're still working from home, because now after COVID, we have a lot of these situations, you cannot take home office deduction. Now, when can you take the home office deduction? If you are on 1099, you are independent contractor, freelancer, you have your own business, you can take home office deduction. And you have no idea how much you can save in taxes or even get to refund. I had so many people who take advantage of that, like from my clients. They actually turn from owing to getting a refund just because of this very simple tax deduction strategy. Another thing, this is for you guys who are investing in rental. So if you're purchasing home to rent it out, this is also a great strategy. Why? Because simply when you are renting out a house, that's a business, and the house itself is an asset. An asset can be depreciated. And what depreciation mean is you can actually deduct money from your income. Taxable income will be lower. So let's say the house is for $100,000. And I'm just gonna throw numbers. It's not, don't quote me on this. There's several ways to depreciate. Usually houses for rent depreciated for 27 and a half years. So you can actually divide the 100,000 for 27 and a half years, and you get that amount, you depreciate that. That will lower your taxable income. And this is an amazing strategy. So make sure when you have a rental to make sure your accountant is depreciating the asset. This is really important. So yeah, you have a lot of strategies to utilize when you are a homeowner. So don't let this opportunity go away. I know I can't even say his last name, the Rich Dad Poor Dad author. He's actually saying your home is a liability, not an asset. Yeah, it is, because if you're not renting, the house is not actually giving you cash flow, but it's still an asset, in my opinion. You can actually utilize it to get a lot of tax strategies in order to lower your taxable income. So you want to make sure you actually work with tax professional. You want to make sure you do tax planning just to see what is available for you. There are tons of tax strategies you can actually benefit from. And I'm going to be covering a lot of tax strategies and echoes of impact, because I think you should know it. You should know it. You should know what you are entitled to. But every one of you has their unique circumstances. So what works for you might not work for me, and vice versa. So you really have to do tax planning. You're going to get a lot of benefit from that. So make sure you do that. And now I don't want to keep you here longer talking tax talk. I'm going to actually um, introduce my guests soon so you can get on more fun stuff on how to purchase the house. And I want to remind you, if you would like to be a guest on the show, email me at hello@echoesofimpact.net. Let me know why would you want to be on the show and what would you like to talk about. So make sure you do that. This is Echoes of Impact with Noura. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is your host Noura Al-Masri, and this is Echoes of Impact. Now I want to talk to my wonderful friend, Ghazala. Ghazala is a real estate agent. She's gonna tell you about if you have to wait to buy a house, or is it the right time to buy the house, and much more about how to shop for the house. So welcome, my friend Ghazala. Ghazala, thank you so much. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Noura.
Sure. So, can you tell the audience actually a little bit about you and how did you get into a real estate?
So, I always had, this love for interior designing and just, different architecture for of homes, and um, I had this gap between my schooling. I was actually going for schooling for nursing, and I had a little gap. I, used that time to do the classes for real estate. It came across, and I thought, okay, I'll just use this time to learn a little bit about real estate. And once I went through those classes, I fell in love with the whole, profession and everything that I was able to do. So started working, and here I am 3 years later.
Well, it's been 3 years. This is
Yes.
awesome. Awesome. So, what do you enjoy most about actually helping people to get their dream home?
Oh, you said it. Helping people get finding their dream home. That's what I enjoy. Seeing the smile of satisfaction at the end of it all. It's a huge investment. It's your home. You would be living in it day in and day out. So you want to be in a place that you love. Um, so that's the one thing that I really enjoy in my profession, that in the end they find something that they are happy with.
Yeah, that's really a great feeling. Like you see the end result, of course, like see the house and oh, this is my
Yes,
room, this is
yes,
your room. Like if they're
it's worth it.
yes, definitely the worth it. So there's always like it's been for at least 2 years. People always asking, you should wait or we buy now? Actually, I asked you this before, like, should we wait or should we buy now?
Mhm.
And I know your answer, but actually, I want you to share your answer with our audience to help them make this decision.
Um, well, if we are talking about the current market, in this current market, I would say buy if you can afford it. Buy it. We all know that it's the market has been going appreciating, and it is going to keep appreciating for the next few years. So if you are able to buy right now, invest in a house, buy it and go for it. The longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. The prices are going to keep appreciating.
Wow. So what
So
about
it's never a bad time to buy. Sorry. It's a good time to buy.
it's always good time to buy.
Yeah.
rather than just wasting your money with nothing. At least you have an asset.
Or you have an asset, or when you're renting, you're actually paying the landlord's mortgage. So and you're not getting any return from that. So if you're buying, at least you're investing in your own home, building equity.
Yeah, that's a very valid and interesting point because you're paying a mortgage either way, whether you are renting or you are buying. But it depends on if you're renting or buying. You either paying that mortgage for someone else or you're paying your own mortgage. That's a very interesting point, and I guess people shouldn't even think twice when they hear this. This points of yeah, this is very interesting. What about actually the interest that people say, okay, the interest is going to go down, so why don't we wait until the interest go down? Why should we buy now?
Well, that's a good point. Why not wait, right, until the interest rates go down? But what do you think is going to happen when the interest rates go down? Everybody's thinking that a lot of buyers are coming out at that point, and we already have demand for homes. Interest rates dropping down is going to even increase that demand more, and that's going to what is that going to do to the prices of the house? It's going to hike up even more. So you are going to end up paying more. When we do all these calculations, paying buying a house at a lower price with a higher interest rate versus buying a house with a higher price and lower interest rates, you're coming out to be at a better price point with higher interest rates, because at least you have acquired a house at a better price, and then once the interest rates falls, you can refinance it and bring your monthly payment down.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And talking about refinancing, so people can just go refinance at any time, like they don't need to have certain thing as long as their credits allows.
Well, I'm not a lender, so not a complete expert, but I know that they would obviously need to talk to their lender about when is a good time to refinance. However, I know that there has to be about 6 payments before you can refinance.
Okay, that's a good point because when I first purchased my house like years ago, I used to get all these offers in the mail and like refinance, and I would get excited about it, and then I noticed that every time I refinance, they adding these closing fees, and I'm just like turning this mortgage payment up, like not really the payment, because the payment would be lower, but the amount, the principal amount is going to go, it's going up. So
Right.
until I noticed that, I stopped. But before, I was just going crazy. I was in my 20s and I was just not well informed about these stuff. So I used to get excited about all these stuff
Right.
all the time. So it's important to know,
Mhm.
like, really talk to your lender before you do refinancing and make sure you know everything. So
Right.
now, if someone wants to actually work with you, what is the first step for the working with the client? How does it look like, the first step?
So, whether it's buying or selling, the first step is the consultation. I meet with the client, we sit down and talk about what their needs are, what their goals are, regardless of what they're buying or selling. What is the end result that they're looking for? And then, based on that goal, we come up with a strategy of what we need to do in order to achieve that goal, and what that process would look like for my clients. Once we do the consultation, and then we move on to the next step. If it's buying, I connect them with the lender, they get pre-approved, I start sending them listings, and doing all the work that I do in the background to find that perfect home that they're looking for, going out looking for the houses, and then going from there. And if it's for selling, then we talk about what is their end goal, strategize on how we want to market the house. What does the house need? Any work? Should we do anything ahead of time before it goes on the market, before public comes in and looks at it? We get the house prepared, come up with a time that we want to go on the market and activate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for all that you're taking care of your client, and for the all the information actually you provided us with today, that's certainly gonna actually help people like make this decision, and how is it, how make them imagine like how is it gonna look like when they're working with you or other real estate agent to make sure like they are planning for their dream house hopefully. And how can people actually get in touch with you to work with you?
So they can reach me at my email address, ghazala.ansari at sorry, at badenwarner.com. Or my phone number, direct line is 312-513-2548. Um, or you can also contact me through my website, ghazalaansari.badenwarner.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. So, guys, go ahead and connect with Gazella, get her consultation, and start working with her to get your dream house. Don't wait because, like she said, the house market is gonna keep appreciating, and don't worry about that interest rate because interest rate is going to be able to you're going to be able to refinance to make it less if it goes down soon or later. So don't worry about that. Just secure your asset. Make sure you're actually paying your own mortgage, not someone else's mortgage. So go ahead and secure your property, your own house, and good luck with that. This is Echoes of Impact with Noura. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is your host, Noura Masri, and this is Echoes of Impact with Noura. Now, I have a very important guest because when you want to purchase a home, you want the finances done. So, without having your money or a mortgage, you're not going to be able to fulfill your dream. So, that's why I have an expert with me today to talk to you about getting a mortgage, what your options are. So, listen in and welcome my friend Ines Flores. Ines, welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. I am excited to be here to explain the process of starting the process to start your purchase of your new home and some of the
That's awesome.
requirements.
We're excited to hear from you. So, before we start and dive in with that, I want to actually hear more about you. So, tell the audience who are you? Like, what's your background? How long have you been doing this? So, before we get them this information about a mortgage.
Yeah, so my name is Ines Flores. I've been in the mortgage business for 6 years now. Prior to this profession, I was an educator for 12 years. So I did a career change and now I'm educating future home buyers on their options to get grants and down payment assistance for their future home.
That's awesome. Why did you make this change?
I have math has always been my lead, finance. So when my babies went on to school, I decided to come back and just pursue my passion and continue to work with numbers and educate others as well.
That's awesome. And we're glad to have you here to talk to us about that. So, when someone actually planning to get the house, do they come to you first or should they start looking for the house first? How should they start the process in order to know what they're looking for in all aspects?
They should definitely come and to meet with me to get a pre-approval. I would give them the amount that they qualify for. I would also talk to them about programs that we have depending on the location they're buying. It all depends. Some areas they're allowed more grant money versus others. So it's usually good to have that in place before they go out there searching for their new home.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know like about I heard, but I don't know much details about the grant that might be available for home own or to be homeowners. Um, can you tell us a little bit about that? Like what's available for people usually?
So these programs do depend on income and people that many people are going to family sizes and different criterias in order to apply for them. So we usually do a intake application, and I do the applying of the grants. And if there's a program for just about everyone, if we can help them with grants, we could at least help them with down payment as far as lowering their down payment that they're going to bring in, and other programs that better interest rate and other government programs.
Oh, that's interesting. So just explain to because I know like some people they don't even know what grant means. So can you explain like how that benefits them and what is it exactly? What grant means?
So these grants are like when you go to school, you get grants to pay for your tuition. It's the same. It's the same concept. You get grants to pay to help you with the down payment that you have to bring in order to apply for a house. So sometimes you have to have certain amounts in the bank in your account to start the offer and get pre-approved for a loan. So one of these programs they will help you is basically free money. You don't have to repay back. And we have several ones. Actually, our bank has their own grant program that would help you will help our clients to get funds depending on the county. Sometimes the counties have some funds, so I do the whole research for them and just try to see where our clients could get the best benefits out of these programs.
That's awesome. And do you only help people like around your area or like can people from around the country connect with you? How does that work?
So we service all 50 states. So, I could do anywhere. We just did one in Vegas, Florida. It all depends. The grants are, however, are just Illinois based. So if you're in Illinois, we potentially could help you. When it's out of states, we have to look what programs are there. But that's a whole research project we have to do in order to see where the client's planning to move and where their income meets and the size of their family as well. So it's a
That,
combination of different criterias, but we do the intake application with their 2 years returns, W-2s, two months bank statements, and we I tell everyone it's never too soon to start the process. We do an intake, and if anything, we do call it a plan of action, where if you can buy now, we kind of down the road help you, and our clients have been totally successful.
that's awesome. So let me ask you this: how because there are so many mortgage options. You heard conventional, you hear FHA and other names. How would the person like know what is the best actually mortgage option for them, and actually what's their options? Like, because are they gonna be approved for every single option, and then it's up to them to actually select, or do they have to eventually get stuck with one option and they have to go with it? How does it work usually?
So Nora, we do have the FHA program and we do have the conventional program. It all depends on the client. On every situation is different. Sometimes it's more convenient for the conventional versus other clients prefer the FHA. It depends on the down payment. We have a 3% down payment for our clients, and conventional we could go that route, but maybe they want the 3.5 FHA. Sometimes the FHAs do come in with lower interest rate versus a conventional one. But sometimes all my realtors probably agree with me when they say, they prefer a conventional because it's a better option for them to get, to at least get their offer accepted. But again, it's what benefits the client the most versus, what they are able to afford.
So the mortgage you get can affect your offer to get denied or accepted.
The program, yes. The pre-approvals, depending on FHA, they sometimes have more it's a more detailed inspection report. So it comes back with more details. So sometimes sellers already know that if it's a FHA, or at least the realtors know, when you come with a pre-approval with FHAs, they know that when the bank comes out, there's a list of details that is going to be more demanding. It's a higher demand. So that if there's something comes back that they need more things to fix and things like this, it's just more in detailed versus a conventional. So the both appraisal reports are totally different. The inspection reports versus of FHA to conventional. So sometimes sellers already know that when it's conventional, the process is a little bit more lenient versus a FHA, their guidelines are more strict.
Okay, so why would actually the seller prefer the conventional? Is it just because it's
Well,
um
because they don't want to start the process and halfway find out that there's all these things they have to get done, and the offer
mm,
just has to just doesn't proceed. So it's all again starting over, looking for another potential buyer and having to
mm,
increase that. So they just rather go with that. But recently, I've seen a lot of, from my experience, a lot of sellers have been, realtors have been accepting FHA offers because the rates have been with right now they're high, so the FHA are lower rates
okay,
than a
okay.
conventional. So they understand that a lot of clients are going that route because of the high interest rate that we're currently
That's really
expecting.
interesting because I don't know, a lot of people don't know that it's gonna
Yes.
make a difference to the seller to pick you over someone else. This is really an interesting
Yeah,
point.
and our realtors have gotten a little, more savvy about that because they're right away. They're like, "Could you please give me a conventional?" And it's harder to get approved for a conventional because their debt to income has to be lower.
Mhm.
Their debts have to be less. They have yeah. I mean, it's a lot of more details that have been more specific. So FHA is a little bit more lenient, and the rate at this point is lower. But that's an option for the sellers. And
Mhm.
but again, like I said, we're here for our clients to see what they could afford in the future, and not overwhelm them with this. So we make sure they're qualified and before they go out and search for their home.
Okay, that's interesting. So, because now our show is about women and we focus a lot about women, I wanted to ask you: is there a special program that who are looking to buy a house, especially if they don't have anyone with them, a spouse or someone like wants to buy the house with them? Is there anything special for them that you recommend them to have, or available, like help like, available for them to make sure they get into the homeowner, um, uh, to be a homeowner, basically?
So we don't have like a specific program just for women. We try to, accommodate all our clients, all our borrowers. So I mean, I'm part of a lot of women groups, networking groups in our area, and I do help just about everyone. If they feel comfortable coming to talk to me, I could guide them if they're single moms and things like that. I could also, I could lend my service for them. They could call me anytime. My cell phone number is always open. They could text me, call me, and I could always help them and guide them in this area.
That's awesome. So let me ask you, how can people actually get in touch with you so they can work with you?
Okay, so they could reach out to me on my cell phone number 773-620-0310, or they could call me, reach out to me via email, iflores@emarketbank.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ines, for being here with us today. You provided the audience with so much good information. I'm sure there are some information you mentioned that they did not hear about before. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here in the show with us. This
Thank
is
you so
Echoes of,
much.
sure.
Thank
This is
you for
Echoes
giving
of
us opportunity.
Impact with Noura. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
This is Echo.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. This is Echoes of Impact with Noura. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is your host, Noura Al Masri, and this is Echoes of Impact with Noura. And we're still covering how to actually and when to purchase a home. We want to cover a very important part of this is actually protecting your assets. This is a very important component, of course, because you want to make sure you protect your assets, and the bank that lending you money, they want to also make sure you are protecting that assets. So in order to cover that more and go in depth on insurance, I am going to be talking to my friend Annie Kinsley. She is an insurance agent, and she's going to actually cover more on that because she is the expert. She knows more, and I want you to hear directly from her. Help me welcome my friend Annie Kinsley. Annie, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Noura. It's a pleasure. So, very quick about myself. I'm a State Farm agent. I've been in the industry 20 years. I've been representing State Farm for over 10 years. And one of the things that is very important for me and my agency is to make sure that our customers are well educated on the process of buying a home, when they purchase a home, how it needs to be insured. Very important factors that we're going to talk about today is one, on how to protect the actual structure of the home, whether it be a single family, a townhome, or a condo. We're also going to talk about the importance of liability on your home. So that way, if somebody were to sue you that they're injured on your premises, how important that is to make sure you have enough liability coverage.
Awesome. So how long have you been doing insurance?
Oh, I've been doing insurance for 20 years now, Noura. It's not new
So
to
you
this at all. Seen it all.
so you guys gotta listen to Annie and what's her wisdom's gonna share with us today. So what's the difference between, like you said, the structure, like if it's a condo or the home, a house? So how is that difference when you are shopping for
Sure.
insurance?
Well, basically, if you're purchasing a single family home, then the house needs to be insured, the outside and the inside. Therefore, if there's hail damage, fire, tornado, the house will be rebuilt from the ground up. Okay. Now, if you own a condo, it's a little bit different because condo insurance is the walls in of the property. So that means the structure of the building that you live in, usually the association insures the exterior, like the wall, exterior walls and roof, right? But you're just going to cover the inside walls of your condo, your carpeting, your kitchen, your wall to wall bedrooms that you have in there. All of that is covered by your insurance company, as well as the liability piece that we'll talk about in a little bit. Now, if you own a townhome, some townhome complexes will insure the property like a condo, where you're just responsible for the walls in, which is the interior, and the association would do the exterior, such as siding and roofing. Sometimes the association at a townhome will say to you, no, you would need to insure it on the outside as well as the inside, which would be covered like a resident single family home. Those are the differences between the three. Now, if you have not purchased a home and you're still renting, it's important to get something called renter's insurance, which protects your personal property, because your landlord will not be concerned if that structure of that apartment building sets on fire and you're out of a place to live. You're going to lose all your personal property. So that's another thing that we cover for our renters before they become homeowners.
That's awesome. So when we want to purchase a house now, like how do we shop for insurance to make sure that we are covered and out everything that we might actually be needing? Because a lot of us, we are angry of insurance company because we feel we pay, but then when something happens, the insurance doesn't cover it, and then like we pay all this money and now it's not covered, I still have to pay it out of pocket. How do we make sure actually what we have is insured, and how do we know actually this is insured, this is not?
Right. So when you are shopping for your homeowner's insurance, one of the first questions that the insurance company will ask you is, when are you closing on the property? So we know when to make it effective. Then the accuracy would be that that insurance representative will be asking you questions about the structure. What year was the house built? What is the construction? Brick, frame, both, cedar siding? What is it? We ask questions about the interior: carpet, ceramic, laminate, fireplace. Do you have a sunroom attached to the home? Do you have a deck built on the home? Newest thing, the feature is solar panels. Do you have solar panels? We need to know that information because the solar company would want you to make sure those are insured if you purchase solar panels. Those are part of the property itself. So those are the questions we will ask, and then we do something called a home estimate worksheet with you, and we put that in our computer system, and it will calculate how much we need to insure your property for. So say, for example, you're purchasing a home for $350,000, but after you told me all of the features inside the home, our worksheet may indicate we need to insure it for $400,000. And that would be adequate for the mortgage company as well. The mortgage company wants to make sure that you're insuring it for the amount of the loan, if not more. And the reason being is they want to make sure that if there is a fire or a tornado and it's a total loss on the property, that we're going to get that home rebuilt to the value of that property and what your loan is for.
That's interesting. So a lot of us are afraid to even talk to insurance because we don't want our bill to go up. So, but you're saying that we always have to be in consistent communication with our insurance agency. So how often actually do you recommend the homeowner to communicate with you to make sure like everything is insured and they have a good policy?
Well, just like anything we do once a year, it's funny that in the new year, we all want to be healthy and lose weight, and we go on a program or join a gym. We do our taxes this time of year. Well, no one thinks to contact their insurance representative to talk about their insurance policy. If you purchased that new home and you didn't finish the basement, but now it's been a year and now you've finished that basement, I need to make sure I'm aware of that, because that needs to be included in the square footage of the home that we're insuring. Because at the time you bought the house, we don't have any coverage for the basement because it was unfinished. But now that it's finished, definitely we want to know that. We also want to know if you've replaced your roof. We want to know if you have added any additions to your home. This is important because the square footage needs to be reassessed on the homeowner's policy to make sure that we're covering those areas.
That's really interesting. So put it in your calendar, guys. Every year, contact your insurance agent. So what do you actually come to the house, or you just take picture, or no, just you need the information? So how does that work?
Well, we don't necessarily need any photos. The only time I ever ask for photos is if there has been a claim and I can upload those photos for the customer. But when we're doing a homeowner's quote, we are asking the customer for that basic information that we just talked about. And then from there, occasionally, we will have a surveyor that will come out to the property and take photos of the exterior, and a drone will take a photo of the roof. Why do insurance companies do this? Is to make sure that the property that you're insuring with us is adequately covered properly, in a sense that you're maintaining that property, that the roof isn't, wear and tear. You might need a new roof sooner than you think. A lot of times when you're purchasing a home, it's really important to have an inspector come and look at it before you decide to buy. Why? Because then you'll know how old that roof is. You will know if there's anything that needs to be repaired on that property before you purchase it.
That's really interesting. And when you do that, like, do you actually make an appointment with the person, or is it something that you just do? You just do like without informing the person from outside?
Well, basically what we do is when you purchase a homeowner's policy from us, we will let you know, because when we're submitting the application, the system will tell us if a subcontractor is coming out to take photos of your property. You don't have to be home when they come, but as a courtesy, they will ring your doorbell to let you know that they are there representing the insurance company and that they're there to take photos. Very similar to if you ever refinance your home, sometimes they have to come and evaluate your property to make sure it's worth the amount that the loan is going to be obtained for. So they will just ring your doorbell. If you're not home, they just take exterior photos. You do not need to be home for the process.
Awesome. So do you work with people just in Illinois? Like who do you work with?
Sure. I am currently licensed only in the state of Illinois, but there are other agents that are licensed in surrounding states such as Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan, etc. I just personally am only insured in the state of Illinois, but I know a lot of different agents that are insured in other states that they can provide that insurance. But my license is just for the state of Illinois.
Awesome. So how can people get in touch with you?
Great. Well, there's a couple of ways. You can email me at Annie@the Kinsley, team.com. You could call our office at 630-820-5400. We're here Monday through Fridays from 9 till 5. Saturdays, we're open 9 a.m. to noon.
Thank you so much, Annie. Thank you for the valuable information you provided to us today. All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you. So this is it. So we try to provide the information that you need to be aware of to make sure you are educated enough when you go to purchase your house, when you go to insure the house. So do your due diligence, and you can contact me if you would like to be here on the show, or if you have any questions for any of the guests, so we can bring them back in at hello@echoesofimpact.net. That's hello@echoesofimpact.net. That was your host, Noura Masri. Until next time, keep making an impact.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.